episode of our 12 podcasts of Christmas. I'm delighted to be with Anto from the Let's Music Together podcast. How are you, man?
I'm all right, mate. You know what? It's a pleasure to be on here because, to be fair, your podcast was kind of the idea that I had to do mine, really. It come up and it was because of Ash Stacey's podcast. I'm a good friend of hers and I seen that and I was like, do you know what? That's a fucking good idea, that is. That's brilliant. Didn't do it to copy, didn't do it to any, I don't really want to gain much from it. I just enjoy talking to people, really, and it's been therapeutic. So that's my story. I'm 37 years of age, getting old, mate. I'm grey, and just like talking music, basically.
Yeah, it happens to us all, mate. And
how old are you? Come on.
I'm only 22.
Jesus Christ, it happens to all. I was 17 when you were being born, pal.
Yeah, honestly, I feel much older than what I am. The back's gone. I'm feeling stiff in the morning.
The back's gone. What do you do as a job, though? Is it a sitting down job?
Yeah, sit in an office all day, chilling.
Want to get up and do some stretches every now and then, mate?
I tried yoga once.
Did you?
I felt like weeping. You do this little one where you're putting your head down and all the blood was I had tears in my eyes. It was unnatural. I didn't like it. Never again.
Never again, mate. Never again. I like to tell you what, mate. The fucking hair's growing.
I've not had it cut since August.
That's a proper Noel, dude. I've seen Noel put in an interview before now. He's got like this weird thing with his follicles where like 3 hairs grow out of 1 follicle or something. That's why he's got such thick hair. Now that's some thick hair, mate. That's something you've got to be happy with.
I'm content with it, but like I said, I've not had it cut since August, and I know I'm get it done every 6 or 8 weeks, so it's very long. I did November.
Did you? Yeah.
But for me to grow November like beard and mustache, I had to start in September.
January.
Yeah. So I've got like 2 or 3 beard hairs about that long. All patchy.
It'll start sprouting when you reach around 33, 34, mate. It's mad.
I still feel like I'm in puberty. but, anyways, we're here. This is the Christmas episode. What we've got written down is not very Christmassy, but I would like to start with some Christmas quick-fire questions.
There we go.
Favorite Christmas song?
Last Christmas.
Oh, interesting. What do you have on your Christmas breakfast?
Fucking hell. Bacon butties and orange and what you call it? Champagne.
What? Is it Bucks? No, it's not Bucks.
There's Bucks Fizz, yeah, Bucks Fizz, yeah. And then Baileys, and then loads of beers. I just drink all day, to be honest.
I've been having this argument with the missus about what you have for breakfast on Christmas Day because her parents want smoked salmon.
Oh, really? For breakfast?
Do you know that upper class posh shit? Not
proper stuff. Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah, I'm happy with biscuits and a cup of tea.
Yeah, I do start with a coffee. A proper strong coffee wakes me up, but then straight to the beers then, mate.
Yeah, I have a nice cup. Got me Victoria box of biscuits prepared.
Put your new socks on and crack a beer open.
Oh, I love a new pair of socks. That's when you know you're getting old. What is your favourite Christmas chocolate?
Oh, I'm not really into chocolate, but it's gonna have to be like Ferrero Rocher or something like that, or After Mints.
After 8s?
After 8s, that's the one. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
They're rank.
Yeah, they are pretty rank. But once I start on them, though, it's no stopping, mate. The box is gone. It's like once you pop, you can't stop.
Yeah, right. Two more. What's your favourite gift you've ever received?
Oh, they put me right on the spot because fucking hell. Oh, guitar. Mrs. last year bought me a new guitar case, and I'd never had one. Oh, and I was gonna go like gigging this year, and that was what it was for. But fucking COVID happened, and that never happened. But so it's just collecting dust in the bedroom. Mate. It's not been used once. But no, it was a special moment because. It was just really special, and I loved it. It was a lovely guitar case, and it just, when you just find something that really special. So yeah, so we've got to give a praise for that,
Nice. And then let's flip it. What's the worst gift you've ever received?
Oh, fucking hell, underpants probably. I mean, honestly, who wants fucking boxer shorts for Christmas, mate? Do you know what I mean?
It depends. Like, it depends if you're getting a branded Calvin Klein pair.
Not even that.
Yeah,
No one sees them.
Primark own brands.
Go shopping in the sales with your boxers on and socks.
It was all I got for Christmas. But we are coming towards the end of 2020. I'm grateful for that. I don't know about you. It's been such a long year, but again, such a short year. It seems to have flown by.
Do you know what, mate? And I don't like to bring up music all the time, but I'm going to plan on doing a Christmas cover this year, and I was going to do The Power of Love. Great tune. And I'd swear, start doing it before, and it was almost like, because I was going to do it last year and I just fucked it off.
Yeah, right.
I don't ask covers, mate. There's sometimes that you start them, it's like, it's just boring, mate. It's just other people's songs, isn't it? And I just doing it before, I was like, oh my fucking God, it feels like yesterday I was doing this. And it has literally been a non-existent year, mate. Hasn't it?
Tell me about it. I mean, what have you, like, do you know when you look back at that, let's say, December last year, and you were like, oh, next year I want to achieve this, this, and this?
Yeah.
It's just a write-off. I mean, but then on the other hand, for me, the podcast, it started.
Yeah. So you've took a negative, turned it into a positive, if you like.
Yeah. Well, we started the podcast not last year, the year before, so 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it just faded away.
Yeah.
So like lockdown was a blessing in disguise, because me and Harry, the other co-host, we got talking, and that's why we brought it back. Because I was actually originally just going to do one on my own. I hadn't spoken to him in months, and then he just messaged like, "Oh, fancy getting me back on?" Yeah, and then from there it's got more serious. We've had some good guests on.
Yeah, you've had some serious good guests on. It's a cracking podcast, mate. I started listening to it when I seen yours and Ash Stacey's. Big fan of Ash, so obviously I watched that one, and then to be honest, it come up on the 2020 year thing. Yours and Eddie Hearn's was my top podcast. Like, so I think yours was above his. I think it was more to do with the fact that I started a podcast and I was looking for some tips. So I was in the car on the way to work and all the way back to work. I was fucking, right, how does he do this? What's he doing there? So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to download Zoom, get someone on, and just crack on at the end of the day, innit?
Well, I have to say, I've listened to a couple of yours, and you've got quite a unique style, which I like. I like the way you introduce it. So it's a bit raw.
Lots of swearing.
Yeah, it's a bit retro, you know. But it's completely different to ours in a way. I mean, of course, we have had a couple of the same guests, and like you said, Ashley Stacey, shout out to him. He does our outro song. He's done a lot of cover.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And he's a good lad, but yeah, he's actually one of my favourite guests.
Yeah, he's a nice lad. It was a good flowing conversation the one I had with him, and because we talk a lot as well on WhatsApp and stuff like that, it was finally nice to just sit down. It was almost like the record button wasn't even on, mate. It was just cracking on with a good flowing conversation. But yeah, going back to this year, COVID. There has been some positives, but like you said, there's been a lot of fucking negatives as well. There's been a lot of stuff that hasn't happened, but you can't moan because everyone in the world is in the same boat, aren't they?
I think, like, for someone like me, in a way, I feel sort of guilty for feeling down and feeling like sorry for myself, because I've not been affected by it. Don't know many people who've even had it, and obviously, what is it, 50,000 people in the UK have died or something. And I just look at I suppose the one person I do know was my manager at work, my line manager. Healthy bloke, active, young-ish. And I won't work because you're on.
Go away.
And he got COVID, and it's essentially retired him.
Did it? Yeah.
Yeah, he's so unhealthy. Well, not unhealthy, but ill.
I've been told that, that it's not just people. There's a guy who I did. I won't mention his name actually, but he said his missus had it, and it's not just a case of getting COVID and getting rid of it, mate. He said it fucks your body up.
Yeah,
after it.
It's like long-term COVID. I think that's what they're calling it. It's obviously not the official term, but it's like where, you're unwell for a while with like a cough, what seems like a very nasty flu, but then just in the long term because he had heart problems from it, getting enough oxygen to his heart, which caused heart palpitations and a heart attack, I do believe, in hospital. So it can affect you. So that's why, like, for me, I then think, why was I feeling so sorry for myself? I was on Fairless sitting in the sun having a beer.
Mate, you can say that, but Jesus Christ, last year, I when I got myself fit again, lost like 2.5 stone. I was at pure gym every day, mate. March come, all this crap happened. They throw us a load of nice weather, and it was just like cans, garden, barbecues, and it's not stopped since then. And now Christmas is here, so I'm sitting at least 2 stone over at the moment. But I'll get it off. I always do, but it's getting harder as I get older, mate.
Oh, of course. What are you thinking for 2021? Do you think we'll be back to normal anytime?
I do personally. I just think it'll be like a year long since it's happened. We've been through every season. They can then analyse every season how it's gone, manage it a bit better in the new year because they've got more stats, more, they've managed it a bit more. And spring comes, you know what happens spring. It did die off towards, I always said to my missus, September's the one, and it did come back in September. So just hopefully, I don't know. I don't even know about these vaccines. I can't, I can't give an informative answer for you, mate, because no one knows, do they?
No. I mean, fingers crossed. I mean,
that's all it is. Fingers crossed all the time.
I just want to go on holiday.
Mate, we were supposed to go to my mum's. She lives in Fuerteventura. We're going on Boxing Day only because she hasn't seen the kids or nothing. And it's just tonight. The Canary Islands has just been put back on that list where I don't know, X amount of money on flights, mate, gone.
Yeah, it's just
tonight it's been cancelled. So, but we're fucking healthy, mate.
Yeah, that's the frustrating thing because we were supposed to go to Fuerteventura like yourself. We'll go.
Go
do the island hops, go to Lanzarote and all that stuff. But
yeah, it's lovely, man. Have you ever been there before?
I have actually. Yeah,
it's very tidy, isn't it? Yeah.
But the problem was, like, it wasn't so much going because you're allowed to go, but with my girlfriend's work, who I'd be going with, she can't work from home. And she can't miss out on 2 weeks' pay if she has to pay for 14 days. So you can't do it.
It's like that, or she goes away while you're in the sun and she's gets some good internet in the hotel. Oh, she can't work from home or not.
I mean, the only case was I go with someone else, and I was really pushing it. I thought we could do it, but no, she wasn't having it.
No. That's fair enough, though. To be fair, I mean, who knows what a lad gets up to when he goes on holiday on his own, mate.
She paid.
Not for the public podcast.
No, definitely not. Anyways, 2020 has been a mad one. It seems like only yesterday I'd started watching Tiger King on Netflix, and now look at it.
Fucking hell, yeah. Tiger King, that was a mad one, wasn't it? Save that for another one. I could go on and on about that one.
But something that has happened in 2020, quite an important movement, Black Lives Matter movement. We were talking about this just before. What's happened this week in the football with racism. And again. And it's the fact there's no fans. There's no fans in the ground, but it still happens. I don't know what your opinions are on it. I think this.
Well, it's probably more highlighted when there's no fans because a lot of the fans drown out a lot of it. If you think about it, it only gets picked up when a camera gets on them or a player really takes it to town and really isn't happy about it and wants to make a scene, which is fair enough. Do you know what I mean? But fucking hell, I mean, grow up, innit? Just grow up, mates.
I just think it's 2020. Come on.
I know.
Like, why does it matter the colour of someone's skin?
It really fucking doesn't, does it? I mean, you know what, mate? I don't even reckon that half these people that are doing it are racist. They're just doing it because they're thugs. They're fucking horrible people. That's it. They're not racist. They don't care about the skin colour. And that's just my thoughts on it. But it still goes down as racism. But they're just doing it because they're animals, mate.
Well, I put a tweet out about the Millwall fans. They just want to be known as the hardest fans in the UK, don't they? I mean, you've not been in the Premier League, I don't think, at all. You're in a relevant club. And you get off on having an occasional game against West Ham and having a few fights outside the ground. You're not
pathetic, really, isn't it?
I just think these are grown men. These are grown men that are doing that. I mean, maybe back in the 80s it was cool to have a bit of a riot.
What's that film, Football Factory, with Danny Dyer?
Yeah.
Chelsea and Millwall and that. Even watching that, I was thinking, fucking, It was good. It's a good film, but fucking grow up in it.
Yeah, it's just a game at the end of the day. But these people don't go like for the game. They go for a scrap. It's funny. One of my dad's mates, he was one of these people. He'd go to football for a scrap, and his other mate Rob, they'd always leave him. Think, what's this fucking clown doing? And just leave him. And he
not sticking around. If it's their choice, isn't it? If they want to go and get into a scrap, that's their choice. But football, going to a footy match, mate, it's the fucking best feeling ever. I mean, it's just amazing, the atmosphere in that. And then when you see fighting at the end of it, which I've seen a few times as a Chelsea fan, I used to go to all the away games with Chelsea and that before kids and I got old. And not all of them, but it's like it just gets ruined at the end of the game. It's like, hell, I've had a great day, and then you've got to sneak past some fucking home fans to get home. Do you know what I mean?
That geezer I was just telling you about, he's actually got a lifetime ban from the KC Stadium. From Hull Stadium, just for being a knobhead. But it's like, this was when he was still doing it when he's got 2 kids at this time. He's still scrapping. It's like, come on, need to get a grip. But he's just an absolute fool, to be honest.
Fool, tool, whatever you want to say.
I went out with him and my dad a few times, and we always ended up having to leave him behind because he's up to something fucking dodgy.
Normally it's drink though. Let's just get some people just can't handle a drink. They just get stupid after a drink, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. And he's one of them. He has a few to drink and he's done.
You'll have a few people listening to this who are the same, probably thinking, "Okay, now I'm a dickhead after a drink."
I'm a dickhead after a drink.
Yeah, but there's been a dickhead and then there's been a fucking arrogant, horrible piece of fucking shit that makes us 100 times worse. Everyone's a bit silly when they've had a drink, but I hate the ones who come up to you in the pub. You've been looking at me all night, you have, mates. No, I haven't. No, I haven't, mate.
I've had a few of them in my time.
Lay the head on them and walk out. That's what he's joking.
But yeah, I mean, just to go back on the racism thing, I've been watching a podcast with this undercover police officer.
Yeah.
He was in the police force in like the 70s and 80s. And he was talking about discrimination because he worked in Peckham, South London.
All right.
And he was basically saying if you were a black lad in that time, walking around, you'd get stopped and basically get your head kicked in by police officers. And these weren't police officers, these were just thugs in uniform. This is what he was saying. And this year, he spoke to his son, which I'm not a big fan of. Yeah, I'm actually a Liverpool supporter, and I think the Sun's the most grim newspaper in the UK.
Yeah. Too right.
He spoke to his son about racism in the police and about how it was back then. And he pulled no punches. He said it was disgusting. And he's obviously a real well-respected person in the community. He's been on several documentaries and stuff. And then he's been kicked out of every police community, sort of.
Who the fella has?
Yeah. So he's not part of any community with the police anymore. So they always have these fancy balls and dinners and stuff.
Yeah.
This invited, and he was basically saying, if I needed any more evidence that it was true.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah. You've just gone and shot yourself right in the toe.
Yeah, it's like, we're not racist, but the fact you've called us racist, no, I'm not having that.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
That's mad. I'll have to have a listen to that one, to be honest.
Yeah,
it sounds interesting. Now, is it just audio? Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Because these
Spotify
exclusives. Yeah, I'm not going to plug the podcast because they're already doing better than ours, but there will be a link. But so let's move on from racism from 2020, from misery, and talk about something which probably won't happen, in my opinion, Oasis reunion.
Fucking hell, here we go.
Here
we go. I had you on Twitter for this. I think we've got different opinions on this, but I'll tell you now before we go, what I respect about you and certain other people is that you can go on Twitter, you had an opinion, and I come right back at you and I give you an opinion back. And sometimes you can expect a fucking arsey and block me and not. That's an opinion, and I respect it. Doesn't mean you have to break friends and fucking unfollow and be blocky and fucking daft and stupid about it. I respected it. We've both got slightly different opinions. We're both Oasis fans. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But going into it, mate, can I just ask you a question? You might know, you probably don't know, you should know. Who started Oasis, mate?
Well, it depends who.
Can you give me a one-word answer, please?
I'm good.
Who wasn't there when Oasis was started? Who was away with the spiral carpets?
Was it Noel?
It was Noel, mate. And Liam started Oasis.
Irrelevant to me. I don't think Oasis would be where they are without Noel. I think this is what the argument was about on Twitter.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. You wouldn't be where they are, but they wouldn't be at all if it wasn't for Liam.
So, for those who don't know, in the tweet I put, Oasis wouldn't have made it without Noel. That was it. An answer here disagreed, basically. But go on, give me your opinion, right? So,
I mean, no, my opinion is that they both need each other, right? And it is getting a bit daft and a bit ridiculous, everything online about it now, which is why I had an opinion on it. But listen, right? Noel wrote them songs, but in my opinion, mate, Noel was not a singer when Oasis started, and Noel only picked up singing and started to become a great singer when Liam used to walk off stage. That's when Noel got a taste for it. So Liam's got himself to blame for that. And he's even talked about that in interviews. But the songs that Noel written were for Liam's voice, and he wrote them for Liam. He put them in the key of Liam and everything else. And without Liam, you imagine Noel Gallagher coming on the radio when it was 1995? You won't remember it because you probably weren't fucking born. You were probably like -10 or something.
I wasn't even an idea back then.
Were you an idea? Were you planned or not?
Of course I was. My brother and sister, on the other hand, that's all the same.
But 1995 when Wonderwall come on, I was like, I don't know, 12 or something like that, 11, 12. And I just couldn't imagine it going anywhere without Liam's vocals on it, mate, to be honest. And it was, but then they both just did their own thing. And that's what blew it up. I mean, Noel's interviews were actually fucking a lot of what Oasis were, built him up in that way. He was such an arrogant twat in interviews, wasn't he? He just did not give a fuck.
Yeah.
And Liam as well. So I think we should just maybe compromise and just say,
Right.
both of them made Oasis, really.
Okay. I can agree with that. Here's one.
You have to have your say, though.
Have you seen Noel and Liam live as solo artists?
Yes.
And have you seen them together?
Yes.
Okay. Because I haven't seen them together, but I've seen them separately.
Yeah.
But I mean, it happened at different stages of my life. So when I saw Noel,
yeah,
it was during an Oasis fanboy period, where Oasis were the best thing since sliced bread for me. All I listened to, Don't Look Back in Anger was the best song ever written. It's still up there, but so when I saw Noel, I was a huge fan, and he butchered Wonderwall when I saw him live.
Yeah.
As a solo artist, I thought it was absolutely terrible. When I saw Liam, it was the first time he ever played Champagne Supernova live,
right,
which was special. And but obviously he doesn't do Don't Look Back in Anger. And when I saw Noel, that was my favorite song ever. So to judge them, I'd say both live are equal. I don't think either one was better than the other.
I've seen Liam 2 or 3 times on his own, and the last time I went to see him, I'm done with paying to go and watch him now. I'm a massive fan, but I've seen everything I need to see with it now. All I want now, all I ever want is for them to do one gig together, and I'm happy. But I just think Liam's way better live, mate. He just gets that crowd going. And I think Noel butchers a lot of his own songs. If you listen to Noel live and you're there in person, you will know when they put it on the telly, it's all like kind of mastered and stuff like that, and it does change things. But when you hear him live, it's a different ball game. But like I said, Noel's not getting any younger, mate.
No, I think the question, I think Liam Gallagher was on, was it Graham Norton or Jonathan Ross or something a few weeks?
Jonathan Ross, yeah.
Yeah, talking about how much did he offer Noel? Was it 100 million or something?
I don't believe that,
No, I don't believe it. But I mean, he wouldn't. I don't think it's the money at this point. He's probably got enough to.
Doesn't need it, mate.
He could live several lifetimes with what he's got.
Exactly.
I think it runs deeper in money, but I don't think Liam wants it, to be
I
honest.
don't know. I think he'd drop everything now, drop of a hat. You know what? It sounds bad, but he goes on about money and stuff like that. I genuinely do think Liam's ran out of a lot of money. He's been had off by his ex-missus, kids he's fucking fathered abroad. They've had him for a fucking millions, mate. And I just think that's the whole reason for his comeback, in my opinion. He's doing well and he's done 2 good albums, but I want to hear something different next time. I don't want to hear just what should have been Oasis songs. I want to hear Liam Gallagher stuff, mate.
The one thing about Liam Gallagher is he's not really ventured out from what he knows, whereas Noel has.
Yeah, that's what I respect about Noel.
But Noel's always been the best songwriter. I mean, that's not even up for debate.
No.
But because he was the driving force. So I think he's always going to be the more creative one out of the two.
Yeah.
But I suppose I can see your point. Like, you can't imagine Noel screaming out somewhere.
You just can't. There's loads of songs that just wouldn't have worked without Liam on the vocal, mate.
I mean, one that comes to my head immediately is it Live Forever? No, I'll just pull off that first line.
Yeah.
He couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He couldn't do it.
There's loads of songs for me. I mean, Noel's even changed the way he plays Wonderwall now. In fact, Noel, if you listen to Ryan Adams' version of Wonderwall, if you go on it after this, Ryan Adams did a fucking version of Wonderwall. It's beautiful. And then Noel copied that version off Ryan Adams, mate, and plays it the same way Ryan Adams plays it now.
It's like a bit sped up. It felt sped up.
Yeah, it's just a lot different. It just sounds like a different song to me, but it's still beautiful.
What's your favourite Oasis song?
Fucking hell, there's loads, mate. Talk Tonight, probably.
That's
genuinely is probably Talk Tonight because of the way it was written. He had a Barney and stuff like that, and then met this girl, and you can just feel the actual emotion in it. So they're the songs that mean the most to me, when you can actually look at someone and say, you've written that on a true basis.
Yeah.
That's a true feeling of that time. So, like, I'll talk quickly about in the car the other day, that Watermelon Sugar was on by Harry Styles, and they all had to have it on. So I was like, right, okay, my stuff gets a sidetrack because I like this DMAs is always on in the car, Oasis or whatever. And that came on. So to save myself from getting bored, I go on to thinking you can look at the who's written it and stuff like that. 5 songwriters wrote that song, mate. 5 people sitting in a fucking boardroom with a big table. Oh, what should we put there? That song instantly means nothing to me now.
Right. I can't remember who we were speaking to a few weeks ago, who was talking about Jake Bugg.
Yeah, he doesn't write a lot of. I know, yes.
And
I know who you were talking about. Andrew Cushing, it was.
Was it?
He said it to you.
He was talking about Jake Bugg and how he has loads of songwriters now. I was surprised by that. I never really thought Jake Bugg was a.
I know exactly what it is, though, mate. Do you want me to tell you why it is?
Please.
I'm like that with Jake Bugg. Some songs, but then there's some songs is just like, how they even made it out? Do you know what I mean? But I just think when it happens like that with artists, they get signed, they promise the record company all these songs, and then they feel pressurized. Everything changes when they get signed. You put in pen to paper, and it's a pressure to write a good song then. And then all of a sudden they come back in and say, listen, this is not working. We're going to have to give you some songs because otherwise we're not going to finish the deal. And I just think that's why it happens, mate.
Yeah. I mean, I presume it happens with a lot of bands. A lot of bands talk about that we speak to who are unsigned about if they are going to get offers, they have to wait for the one which like gives them creative freedom. Because they don't want to go in and then be told, right, you have to change this. You have to bring in a keys player when you've just been primarily just 3 guitars and drums, and then because obviously keys these days are the rage, especially with like bands like Blossoms, DMAs. So a lot of bands don't want to sign to labels because they end up losing a lot.
Well, I'd tell you one little story quickly. Leon Frey out the Cortinas, his last album, the record company, they were on his back, and he said, I felt so pressured. It was the worst time in my life. He was going mad on Twitter over that period, like, oh, you know, and he was obviously slagging off the record company. Anyway, he gave them an album, and then they said, okay, we'll put that out. He wasn't happy with the album, so he went back to them and said, listen, you can fuck your record deal off if you don't want this to happen, but I'm taking it back. It's not good enough. And they turned around and said to him, here's another 8 months. Go and write a good album. So sometimes it's about artists standing up a little bit and saying, no, mate, you're going to have to wait because this is shit.
But you know what's crazy about that? More Again Forever still wasn't a good album.
What's that?
More Again Forever still wasn't very good.
No, yeah, you're right, but probably because there still is a little bit. Yeah, you're right.
I didn't like it at all. There's one song worth listening to, Hanging Off Your Cloud.
Yeah, but that's where you can feel the pressure of having to write for the sake of putting something out, mates.
Yeah, would you say you're a Cortinas fan?
Yeah, massive Liam Frey fan, but not too much of the last album, like you said.
Mm.
I'm a big fan of the way Liam puts across his songs, his raw emotion, his storytelling's great. Not of recent, but there is a few good things. I like his stage presence. He hasn't actually got the best voice in the world, Liam Frey.
No.
He just tells the story really well.
They're definitely on where they're from, and that's something which has disappointed me this year, with the fact that loads of music venues have been closing in Manchester and they've done very little to help.
Oh, haven't they? No.
Like, bangs on constantly about, I'm from Fallowfield, I'm from fucking Manchester, love Manchester, and then he did very little, whereas Tim Burgess or Charlton's has done everything in his power to these venues. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big Cortinas fan. I got me Cortinas poster right there. Obviously, but it's like, it did disappoint me, but a lot of bands did it. 1970, have a band who were constantly going on about how,
like I said, though, that's also to do with fucking management and record and deals, where it's like, you ain't going out being seen doing that because you're putting our names to that as well.
Yeah,
you know, that's why you're talking about someone should sign something to say and give you the freedom to do what you want. It all depends what's in that contract, mate, at the end of the day.
The one thing I will say about that is the management of Cortinas is the same as Blossoms.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I didn't know that.
And Blossoms have done loads.
There you go then.
So that's why I've got a bit of a thing about it. And on the other side of the coin, I'm fairly certain their management also is Stone Roses.
Is it? Yeah.
Look what Ian Brown's been doing this year. He's been a big clown. So
he's fucking mad. He is mad. He's just stayed the same, mate. I was in another podcast. My first podcast I did. It's like, you know, you see him on the internet in B&Q buying wood and that, in his Adidas trainers and his pajama bottoms and that. He's a fucking mad person, isn't he?
I think he's one of these people who's going to have a nuclear bunker in the back garden. He just comes across as that sort of guy.
So go back to the Blossoms, though. I read something about them the other day. They wrote their Christmas song in the middle of fucking June, mate. And I was talking about this to Ash because I put something up that he wasn't quite tasteful of. I put it on Twitter saying, how can you write a fucking Christmas song when it's not Christmas? The best time to write a Christmas song, he has done a good song. I'm probably doing it more to wind him up more than anything. It's like he got a bit of a bite off him, like, but and he has done a good song. So for the record, Ash, it's a good song. But I think the best time to write a song, right, is on Christmas Day and then release it the year after.
You reckon?
Yeah, because it's raw, it's feeling, isn't it? It's emotion.
But you got too much to do on Christmas Day. What I would say about that is I always find Christmas Day anticlimactic. I find the run up to Christmas more exciting.
Yeah, true, actually. Yeah. Christmas Day is kind of like the rest period, isn't it?
Yeah, like I've opened my presents, I've had my lunch, and then it's like, oh, it's over. That's it.
It's fucking over. What are we doing next year?
Yeah, it's like, hey, and to be honest, I just get excited for Boxing Day and the day after for the footy.
True.
But it's all fun and games. So I think we're going to take a quick break here. I'm going to listen to Anto's song, Always Take. So
yes, go on, get on it, son.
And we'll be right back.
Where's this going, my love? Why's it changed? I don't know what I'm feeling.
Or is it just the way I feel? You always take what I say the wrong way, so stay and work it out with me. You always take what I say the wrong way, so stay and work it out with me. Here I am, a broken man on my knees. Where you go and turn around, don't walk out. You always hurt the one you love. Someone else will come along and pick them up. You always take what I say the wrong way, so stay and work it out with me. You always take what I say the wrong way, so stay and work it out with me. You always take what I say the wrong way, so stay and work it out with me. You always take what I say the wrong way, so stay and work it out with me. You always take what I say the wrong way, so stay and work it out with me. You always take what I say the wrong way, so stay and work it out with me. You always take, you always take, you always take.
Yeah.
So, welcome back from the break. This is part 2, where we're going to be discussing Anto's YouTube career.
Oh, fucking hell, mate.
Discussing all sorts. So you were a FIFA YouTuber back in the day.
I was, mate. I'm going to tell the story because I may as well. I'd never talk about it because you've asked about it. I'm not the type of person to go, oh, I did this, I did that. I quit it for a reason, and because I'll tell you why. And so anyway, I was at home one day, and I'd done my ankle in. That's when I did my ankle. So I sat on the sofa, laptop, and remember the John Terry tackle on James Milner years ago? It was a proper dirty challenge. It was. I put a video up about it, just a random video, and nothing to do with FIFA or nothing like that. And then it got like 70,000 views, like because it was a relevant fucking thing. It was a title. Just like, fucking hell. So then started playing FIFA and stuff like that. I started doing like commentaries, but it wasn't about the game. I was a FIFA commentator where I would put FIFA on, play FIFA in the background, and talk about real life stuff.
Yeah.
People were just loving it, like, and it just grew and grew and grew. In the end, it got to like 50,000 subs. So you upload a video, it's like they were all active as well. So like you'd upload a video, like a few hours later, it's got like fucking 5,000-6,000 views. You know what I mean? And it was like lots of comments coming in. ratings. But I'll be honest with you, mate. I also had a channel called Sports Station TV, which was a bit of a mad channel. But you just see you start seeing comments coming in, and it's like some people can be fucking nasty online, mate. The more followers you get, the more of a cunt they are going to be. And one of them said something about, hope you get cancer and stuff like that. It's just like that started. It did it home. And then I don't know if you heard KSI. He came in on the scene, and he was very. He wasn't popular at all. His videos were shit and stuff like that. He was trying to do the FIFA stuff like that. Even did a couple with him. And then he just went away and just did one of these crazy, weird videos on Emil Heskey. It was took the piss out of Emil Heskey, and it just went mental. But then the scene became about fucking comedy, and I was like, that's not what I was in it for. Do you know what I mean? I just wasn't in it. Everyone who wanted to see something on about FIFA, then it was all about it's got to be funny or this or that. So just lost interest. It was to do with trolls and stuff like that. There was big money coming in from it, mate. Mad money coming in.
They sent me analytics, and you had like 8 million views nearly.
Yeah. That started to become £1,300 income a month, mate.
I mean,
no joke.
It must have been difficult to walk away from that.
No, it was great. It was great, mate. I went away. I got really fit in the gym. I got back. I worked. I'm aerospace trained really, and I went back there. I got a job back there, and I just started living a normal life. When you're doing that kind of stuff, mate, you start becoming living at night time and sleeping in the day. It's just how it happens. You've got to get all this footage. You've got to do all this stuff, and then it's mad.
Quite thick-skinned with all the trolls out there.
I think that's what my problem was, though. I wasn't. A lot of people started calling me like fucking Anto the Rager and stuff like that because I just couldn't take it back then. I just didn't like it. But it's just one of them, man. You just move on, don't you? Do you know what I mean? And then obviously the sports channel and stuff like that had 8,000. So I took it over to there then. And that got that was like on 5 million views. That touched that before I closed that down. Something, you know what I kind of regret though is closing it down and not closing it. I closed it down and you can't see any of them videos anymore. It's gone. The only thing you can see is on Social Blade, where it used to be. There's actually a website, actually. You can go back on history of websites. So if you type a date in, you'll be able to see my page and everything else. But yeah, that's the story basically, mate. One day I just walked in. I was really, really overweight, really unhappy. And that's what it all became about to me. It became about happiness rather than success, really. And I just deleted the lot, mate.
You would have privated, so you could have gone back to it.
I wish I'd privated it, all of it, yeah. But it just all got, there was some brilliant videos on there, mate. It's about 150 videos there was. And they're all gone. I did not recently, a few years ago, try to contact them. There's no chance, mate. They're all gone. There's no chance. But so I suppose you could give me a bit of experience in doing what I'm doing now, and still have a passion for it, but not in that. So I turned it into this because I've got a passion for music. So, and it's not that I want to do anything really popular with it or anything like that. I just enjoy talking about music, mate.
Well, just one more thing about the thief stuff before we move on to your podcast. I think you said something about coin generation, and
what's that?
Like generating coins where you were buying.
Oh, mate! Oh my God! Also, I think you know what, mate? That was my parting way. I'm not joking. Let me tell you a story about that, right? Because I had a lot of subscribers, and then there was this guy who got me on Skype. His name was Jack, right? And his little brother, he was only about 11, was a whiz on computers. So he was on the online store. It's when they brought out the online store where you could get Ultimate Team on the laptop. Mate, he was generating millions of coins, millions in a proper dodgy way. So he come to me, he said, I can sell you 1 million for 35 quid. And I was knocking them out for 70 quid, mate, right? And I put it in the description of one video, thinking about it, 10,000, 12,000 views per video. Mate, I had to set up this special email thing and I automatically do stuff. And mate, I was just sat at the laptop all day, every day, sending people coins, mate, buying players off people. And some of my PayPal transactions, they just got cancelled, and it comes to a point where I didn't even care, because they get investigated when there's that much money coming in. And some of them are just like, there's that much money coming in, I just didn't care, mate. It was just like 70 quid's just gone, and it's just like, we miss it's like that's gone. It's like, I don't care. It's thousands and thousands. It was like that. So that was my. I didn't want to be a sellout like that, but I thought to myself, right, it's coming to an end. It is going to come to an end. Right, let's make something from it then. And I fucking did, mate. And I went on about five holidays, bought a new car, a lot, mate. So, but then that was it. It was gone. So, yeah.
The one thing about coin generation, there was a lot of scams going about, back in the day. So when I was about 13, I think it was, first year of secondary school, maybe second, and then we did a coin generator video, one of these fake ones, just seeing if anyone fell for it.
Did you? Yeah.
Some people did, and we may or may not. It's never been proven. We may or may not have hacked one of my friends' FIFA account, and
that was happening a lot as well.
I'm saying we may or may not have done it, and he put a lot of money into the game, and so what? I took his Wayne Rooney card, but. At the end of it, my friend ended up getting kicked out of his rugby club because based what he'd noticed that we've been on his account and taken all his coins.
Yeah. So you're big into the FIFA thing. You should have contacted me, mate. I would have signed you, man.
So what he did was he bought loads of FIFA points, or I can't remember what they used to be called back then, like the Xbox.
It was.
Oh,
I can't even remember myself now, but fucking people. I started doing fucking pack openings, mates, because they were just getting, because I had millions and millions and millions and millions of coins, mate. It's just like pack openings, right? So I did a video on pack openings. The first one, 70,000 views, because people love them.
They do, but that's what he did. He did a pack opening with real life money.
Yeah,
accused us of doing it because we were on his account, saying that
we
stolen hundreds of pounds off his mum. And he did it himself. And my mate got kicked out of his rugby club for that.
Did he? Yeah.
I kept that Wayne Rooney card. But
do you know what, mate? The amount of emails I had from people's parents. What's going on here? What's going on here? I said, well, it's been bought. Like, so they'd always try to charge back on you on PayPal. I said, you can try it, but I'll just refuse it. They've bought the coins. They've spent it now. They've go and have a look at their Xbox upstairs and have a look at what fucking players playing up front for Ultimate Team. If it's fucking Ronaldo, mate, you ain't getting a penny back.
I mean, a lot of kids do that. I mean, it's gambling at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. It is classed as gambling. It is, yeah.
But it's, kids, you're allowed to do it from 13. Apparently on FIFA, that's all right. I don't agree with that, but it's what it is. But like you said, you had a successful career.
It was all right, but like when the pack opening started, it become me following a trend then, and I'm not like that, you know what I mean? I just didn't want to follow a trend. Pack openings wasn't my thing. I didn't like it, but it was getting views and it was bringing in a lot of money at the time, so it did become that, and that's what I didn't like about it, mate. I mean, there become a point, mate, right? I swear to God, I did start the gym actually, and I started living my life, and what I was doing, so spending one day of the week grabbing all the footage, playing the game, doing all these commentaries, and then YouTube come up with the thing where you could schedule and upload. Yeah. I even went away. I went abroad for two weeks, mate, and I just scheduled a load of uploads to come back. It's just like they've all been uploaded and everyone's liking them. Like, so that's when it's not fun. It could become work, and it's fucking entertainment. If you're entertaining someone, it's always got to stay with entertaining and enjoying it for that. Otherwise, you're just a walking robot, mate.
So from FIFA YouTube, you've transitioned into the Let's Music Together podcast. How did that start?
A lot of years passed with that. I don't know, fucking, you know what? Lockdown, mate. Boredom. And I don't mean to be horrible about my missus or anything like that, because she's lovely and stuff like that, but it's just not her thing, mate. Music just isn't her thing. And if it is her thing, it's not the indie scene, it's not the Brit pop scene or anything like that. It's the stuff that she likes, mate, you know, a bit dancey and stuff that's in the charts. And I understand that. So when you're stuck in the house for like so many months, I go to work, but you come back, you can't go to the pub anymore, you can't talk to anyone anymore. So just it's, you know what, it's just therapeutic for me to get to talk like you can fucking see. I haven't stopped talking. I shouldn't have had a coffee before this, actually. Normally have a couple of Guinnesses and normally like that towards the end of it, but I've had a fucking strong coffee. So yeah, just that, mate. It's therapeutic. I get to talk to people about music. I don't do it for any following. I'm not even going to plug anything. I just do it because I fucking like talking about music.
Well, yeah, same for me. I mean, with my missus, she's not really into the music scene, so this is sort of a way for me to chat about it, especially in lockdown, because I'm so used to being, you know, out having a drink or whatever, and you're talking to your mates like, oh, you heard this song, or talking about it, and you just can't do it. So the podcast was a new way to
gigs and everything. Like you say, you've been to a lot of gigs, mate, with your friends, and you haven't been going to them.
Yeah, it's been a weird one, difficult year. I think like because the missus, she's into Capital Radio and stuff like that, and I can sum up the Capital Radio listener from one exchange I had on the radio. So we're running a competition to go to the Summertime Ball, which is Capital's major festival or whatever we do at Wembley every year. So they have all these massive names on, you know, like Harry Styles, Ed Sheeran, and they only go on and do 2 or 3 songs. So it's not a real festival. We don't do a It's a bit shit. And so these 2 women were had called in to win tickets to see Sean Paul.
Right, yeah.
Now, Sean Paul, I don't know too much about charts or whatever, but he's synonymous for doing that bada-bom bom thing.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. I don't know one person who doesn't know that. Bear in mind, this was to win Sean Paul tickets.
Yeah.
Which artist featured with Sia made this sound, and then they played it, bada-bom bom. They didn't know who it was.
Did they?
They didn't know. They passed. I was in the car with the missus going, it's Sean Paul. And they're like, oh, they passed it. And I was fuming. I've never been so angry in my life. I was like, these people are trying to win tickets and they don't know who it is. Look, I'm still angry. 2 years passed, I'm still angry about it. And the fact one of them won the tickets eventually pisses me off. I think someone else, that's Capital listeners for you, people.
He's proper gone off his head on the screen. Proper gone mental.
Capital listeners, if you won't be listening because you've got no taste, Rachel, I'm sorry.
I can vouch for you there. I mean, you're obviously into the same kind of music as me. But I've got a question for you, obviously. I know you've spoke a little bit about it in this podcast, but I want you to explain the story behind the Let's Talk. What's it? Talk Tonight podcast. Go on. Where's it started from?
Where do I begin? It was a summer's evening.
Was it a summer's evening?
It might have been. Can't remember.
No one knows anymore about life today because we've been fucking locked away.
Yeah, like I can't remember what I was doing. I just know I've done it. You know. Yeah. But no, so last year, we did the podcast Talk Tonight. Just me and Harry, who still hosts now, we just thought we'll do a podcast, and we did, I think, 5 episodes just talking about bands. We did like one on the food chain, just discussing like restaurant chains and where they should be ranked. It was boring.
Yeah.
Like it was over Skype and we had no visuals and it was all a bit shit. We tried interviewing a couple of people and it was shit because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to interview people, didn't prepare. So like dead conversations. And then this was before I'd ever worked as well. So and what I have noticed is, you know, when you work, when you go into an office setting for the first time, you either like you can be quiet and talk yourself well, or you can boost your confidence massively, which is something I've done. I'm way more outgoing and outspoken, you could say. The first Talk Tonight run was rubbish.
Yeah.
It died off, and me and Harry stopped speaking for whatever reason. Didn't fall out, just like you drift out. Yeah, we both in parts of the country. So, and then lockdown happened, got put on furlough. Why? It's funny. I got made redundant. So I got on furlough, got made redundant. Even though I'm a student intern. Next week, I'm sorry. Can we take you off redundancy? Actually, we need you.
Fucking hell! Do you make sure you got money off them first?
They always come crawling back, you know. They always come crawling back, and then taken off furlough and offered me a part-time job to carry on working while I'm at uni.
Oh, that's fucking happy days, isn't it? What are you doing in uni, mate?
Business management with law.
Oh, mate.
Not what you'd expect from the.
This podcast is going to be forgotten when he's finished uni. He's just going to be rolling in coins, mate.
I wish.
Don't forget me when I say something bad, and you have to defend me in court somewhere, mate.
Oh, God, mate, come on. I hope I can get a nice job, but podcast. Obviously, this year's taken over a lot of my time. Been enjoyable. Spoken to a lot of good names. Made some friends along the way, like yourself.
Yeah.
And it's just been all around good. We've done a lot of different things. I think like first time we did it, we're like making the same points over and over because.
Yeah, you can't. I've started already noticing it about myself, and already started thinking to myself, I'm going to take a few names. If you do one after the other, mate. I mean, I'm not like criticising or anything like that, but I've started to think to myself, I'm going to start spacing these out because what I spoke about the night before kind of carries on into the next artist if I'm doing one the next night, and I'm talking about the same thing, and then it's like if I wait a week or something new's happened in the news or in the music world, I'll talk about that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we used to do I'd sometimes do 2 or 3 in a day, and
fucking hell, it's a lot, mate.
Several a week, and you get sick of hearing your own voice.
Yeah.
So I mean, for everyone who's watching, this is the end of season 1. Season 2, it's going to be bigger, better, and one a month. There's an exclusive announcement, 1 episode a month.
Is it? Yeah.
2021.
Is it? Yeah.
You could think we're downgrading. I think we're going to be upgrading because there'll be more time to edit. There'll be more time to get guests.
So one episode a month of a podcast.
Yeah. We will be doing.
What are you going to do? You're going to do a big long one, or?
Yeah, hopefully we can get we've been getting more. I'm not going to say recognizable names, but bigger names.
Yeah.
The way I want the podcast to go, I want us to. So we started with a band who had 1 song out and 12 followers.
Yeah.
So we're slowly getting bigger, and we've just done the Rills who have 100k plus.
Yeah.
And so that we're up here now. We're going to stay here. Interviewing bands at this level so we can rise up, and then we can go back and interview these bands who we like, who we're unheard of. We build them up. That's the plan of the podcast.
Yeah.
It's like we're not just like we're here to make ourselves big, because of course we are, but the eventual aim, of course, is to help build up artists, and my dream is to be able to run events.
Yeah.
To put on gigs.
Will, but listen, mate, I think you say you're taking time out, but I was speaking to someone on my podcast the other night, and before we came on, it's like, to be honest, a podcast takes years to build, right? You've just got to keep going with it, and then you've got that much out, and that old material will always be there for people to go back to and listen to over and over again. So it's just about getting to that point where you do get that sometimes you need a bit of luck as well. Do you know what I mean? You do.
I find it, obviously I watch a few podcasts, and it's like, they've taken a lot of time, and then they've also had a bit of luck along the way, like they've had massive guests on. Like, you just need someone to say yes. For us, when we were starting up, Jamie Webster said yes, and he's a massive name in Liverpool. He's probably the most recognisable name we've ever had, and just emailed, and you just take a pot shot, and said yeah.
So sometimes hard getting a bloody email address, because I did Chris Elm, and he replied within 2 minutes, mate. He must have been sat at his computer. Yeah, when? I was just like, he cancelled on me twice because his dog was fucking poorly and he had to go to the vets and this and that. In the end, I said to him on one Saturday, I said, listen, you're coming on. Maybe I like today, mate. So I had to say to him, I said, listen, it's today, mates. We're getting it done. And but I will speak about something, because it's not, I will, because I won't mention any names, but I've done like 10, I think. And it was 1 or 2, I think, maybe 1 properly. he hasn't. I say to people when I first start, I said, do us a favour, share the podcast out and that, because you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And there's one lad who he's got a quite big following on Facebook and stuff like that, and he hasn't done it because I just feel like he doesn't want that to go on his Facebook page, or he doesn't want it to, and he hasn't done it. It's sitting on like 35, 40 views or something like that, and the rest of them are proud to have come on and done it. I feel like taking it down because I feel like he's looking at it thinking, I'm way too good for that. And it's like, I just don't think, for people who come on to podcasts, it's nothing horror. If you're saying yes to coming onto a podcast, then come on it and fucking do a podcast. Do you know what I mean? Come on and let's sell you and let's sell us as well. Do you know what I mean? A little bit of us. Because I think it's scratch my back, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah.
But they don't have to do that. But I just kind of get a little bit disheartened when I think to myself, I've spent an hour talking to you, and I've spent probably an hour before I'm looking at some of your fucking history, going through everything all week, probably put you on Spotify or listen to your songs so as I can get have my own opinion on your music. That's if I don't know you. And then to get like nothing back is a little bit disheartening, but it is what it is.
It's not like we're at a level where we don't need you to share it to be seen by friends. Because, like, for example, the True Geordie podcast, that's probably the most popular podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
With Joe Rogan. He doesn't need someone to share it because he's got millions of people that are going to watch regardless.
Yeah.
Whereas when I'm doing a podcast and you sit down for half an hour and you've done your research and you just think, just share it.
It's not hard, is it?
But what I don't understand is if you're not going to share it, if you're not going to be proud of coming on, if you're not going to enjoy it, don't come on.
That's exactly my thoughts, mate.
I'd rather you say no, not for me. I'm not a fan of podcasts. Never seen you, don't know what you like. I don't fancy it. Fine. Like
that's all they need to say, innit?
Yeah. And happy days, fine. I'll move on. I'll find someone who wants to.
I had a band say that to me actually. It's Skylights. You heard of them? I asked them, and they just turned around. In fact, I'll tell you two stories. I had Skylights who come back and email me back saying we're just too busy at the moment. Maybe in the future. Fucking totally respect that. I just put back to them, no problem. Thanks for acknowledging that I fucking wanted you on and appreciated your music. And then another one was City Lights as well. They said they'd come on, and then when it came to it, they just didn't fucking answer any of my messages or anything like that. So it was just like I spent a fucking week researching, listening to songs, in work for a whole week listening to those guys. And to get nothing back when the link was sent to come and do the podcast or, everything else, it is what it is. But like I said, it is what it is.
We've had a few rejections recently because we've been trying to get like a really big name on for a Christmas episode. Yeah. We asked Sean Ryder.
Did you, yeah?
And then his manager came back and said, we've not really got time at the moment, we're really busy, but get back to us in the new year and we'll try and arrange something.
I think New Year will be the best ones to try for me.
And like these bigger names, they don't have to get back at all. I know that, but the fact that they do, and it's.
I fucking emailed Tony McCarroll's manager, mate, out of the old Oasis drummer, and they just fucking replied with, "Tony's too busy at the moment, but thanks very much." I mean, you've got to respect it, man. At first, though, they said we'll get back to you, and I thought, "Fucking hell, we're on it, yeah." And then they come back like, why keep your hopes up and then come back and
you got to cast
kick me in the teeth.
Got to cast a wide.
Go on.
Anyways, who's your dream podcast guest?
Tommy from DMA's.
Fair. DMA's a big one.
In fact, the whole of DMA's Johnny Tuck. Got Matt Mason. What I'd love to fucking DMA's to come on, mate. Imagine that, mate. I mean, that's the dream. If there's one reason why I'd want to build a following, it's not for myself at all. I've been there, done that, and I'm not being arrogant. I've been there, done it, mate, and I didn't like it, to be honest. If I didn't like it, the more it built, the more I felt victimized a little bit. Like, you could go. I was going to Asda sometimes, and I was getting people like, "Oh, fucking hell," and it was a little bit embarrassing, really. Because of what I was doing. But for them to come on, it would just fuck it. I wouldn't even care if people didn't follow after it. That's the ultimate thing, because I love DMAs, love them.
Yeah, you and Ashley Stacey got that in common then. He's a big DMA's head.
Oh, mate, they just brought back guitar music.
I don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan. I was supposed to see him live this year. Not my favourite by any means, but I can appreciate the good, but I wasn't a huge fan of their recent
Not a
album.
fan of their recent album.
No, I wasn't. Well, I think that's been the same with like a lot of bands. Third album, Catfish and the Bottommen, Blossoms, their third album.
Bit of pressure stepping in, and record companies on the case. We spoke about this before. I probably think, yeah. But I think with DMAs, I felt a little bit missold because he gave us Hill's End, which was fucking hell. It's been overplayed to fuck in my house. But then it was almost like, okay, we've kind of not conned you. I'm not going to say conned because I love the lads. Just feel like they put that out, and then now, okay, we've got a bit of a following. We're going to give you this stuff now. It's just not stuff that I'm into, to be honest.
Yeah, they're trying to build like a different fan base because they've still got their old stuff out there. I think they'll still be massive because obviously they're not from the UK, so they're an international band. Whether they'll break America or not, like Arctic Monkeys or whatever, I don't know.
I don't think that America. I'm not too sure, but they're from Australia, aren't they? So I think they've got a fair few followers there. But I think they with British fans, I think I just think they've got the British fans will support them going forward a hell of a lot, mate, because of it's basically the Oasis sound that Hill's End. For me, I heard Oasis when I first heard Tommy sing.
Yeah.
And I did, mate, and that's what got me into it. And then I started listening to it more. Then you start hearing their own stuff. But from a first listen, you think, fucking hell, it's Oasis.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I thought that first every time my head lay down, I thought you can hear the Oasis influence.
Hear the Liam twang, can't you?
Yeah, but then they have completely different songs like Delete and Silver and stuff like that, and it's completely different. But I mean, they're a cracking band. I think, yeah, if I had to go with my dream guest, it'd be Mr. Alex Turner. Maybe.
Oh, fucking hell. Mate, I've seen some of his stuff on YouTube. You've seen the one with Miles Kane where they're both completely off the tits and he can't even talk properly, mate. Staring at him in the face and that. Fucking ace, nice.
I reckon it'd be a laugh, but it'd definitely be one for like when we've got a studio, we do it in person. We have a...
Yeah. See, I like that. When we've got a studio. I'm coming to that studio. Mate.
You're right, you are, mate. I think that's a perfect way to end the podcast with some optimism for the future. And what has been a shit year, let's be honest, but there is optimism in the air.
There's always optimism, mate.
There is. Well, Anto, again, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
No problem. Thanks for having me on, man. It's much appreciated. It's been great.
And if you're watching when it comes out, I wish you a happy Christmas, a good New Year, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yes, a much better New Year.
Thanks very much.